I love being a dad, man. Those two kids, I can't believe it, though. They're only 1 year apart. They're only 1 year apart, and these two kids are completely different. Like the older one, he's a mini-me. This kid looks like me, right? He's got the big curly hair, a beard. He's a good-looking kid, you know? The little guy, oh, he's just like my wife, you know? Just mean. Beard. Way thicker than mine, you know, because she's Sicilian, so that comes in thick. Married a Sicilian girl, yeah. You got Italians and then you got Sicilians, right? Like, you marry a Sicilian girl, you better do the right thing, you know? I asked her mother first. Great move. She was like, Mark, whatever you do, don't buy a ring. Angie wants her great-grandmother's ring. It's a family heirloom from Sicily. Do not buy a ring. And as a guy, I'm thinking, oh, yeah. I don't have to buy a ring, you know? Of course, the hard part, you know, was getting 4 guys to help dig up Grandma. I'm kidding. We used a backhoe. I have very soft hands, sir. I'm what you would call a house cat. Yeah, I got the two boys. They're so much fun. I actually, the whole process when my wife got pregnant was just mind-blowing. I can't believe how much work goes into everything. My wife told me we had to take classes. I said, what do we got to take classes for? She goes, well, to teach me how to breathe. Angie, you're 35 years old. You should have that down by now. I mean, I'm self-taught. I've been doing it my whole life, but not an expert. And she goes, no, you got to take the class. So we went in. I take the classes. The day comes, right? The day comes, and no matter how much they talk to you, you're not prepared. We run in there. We rushed into that place. I almost got into a wreck on the way to the hospital. But once we got in there, we got her on the table, and we started doing our breathing, right? We're breathing with her nonstop. We were breathing so much that I actually started to hallucinate. I thought, you know, after about 10 hours, I was exhausted. I was like, let's go home. We'll sleep it off. We'll come back tomorrow. They're like, no, once she's on the table, she's there till the baby comes. It's hour 18, hour 19, hour 20. I'm like, oh! Help me! We're there. I'm so exhausted, right? And I'm breathing, I'm hallucinating. I turn and I look and I see the hospital doors fling open like an old saloon door in a Western movie, just. And this guy comes walking through. Now, we're all in blue scrubs. This guy's in black scrubs. I was like, ooh. He comes walking up to my wife. And he stands in front of her, and she's naked, spread eagle on a table. And he's looking at her like he's about to make an estimate on a used car. There is some damage, but I can work around it. All right, now when I say 3, I want you to push low. 1, 2, 3, and a baby came out. I'm like, this guy's the womb whisperer. He picks up the baby, it's a boy, and he goes over to this other area. I've never witnessed anything like this in my life. I can't believe what I just saw. I look up, and there's my wife, tears coming out of her eyes, sweat coming down her forehead. I run over to her, I grabbed her by the hand, looked her right in the eye, and said, oh my, that doctor was amazing. You're not supposed to say that. The nurse stopped a murder from happening that day. She stepped right in between us. She goes, we're going to take you to get stitched up. Why don't you go meet your son? I turned and I looked, and there he was. They already had him wrapped up. He looked like a little burrito. They had him on top of this big metal table. He looked like a deli tray, you know, and there was a little French fry lamp on top of him. And I was so hungry. And I walk over to meet my son for the first time, and I realize there's a guy filling out the birth certificate. And I thought, aren't we gonna sit at a big table with a guy who looks like Santa Claus and a feather pen and fill out the birth certificate all together? He's like, no, man, I'm filling it out now. You the dad? But, yeah. He goes, you got a name picked out? And I thought to myself, ooh. I'm the only one here. I can name this kid anything I want. Then I thought about it and remembered how mean my wife was, so I stuck to the plan. We named our first son after my father's father, so we called him Grandpa. It's a family name. Our youngest son hates his name, little Grandma. Not a big fan, but we did name our kids after our grandparents. My grandfather, at a very young age, told me I can do anything I want with my life, and I had a teacher in high school tell me different. I make my living as a writer. I failed English in high school. I failed it because we had to write a paper called the Shadow Report, and the Shadow Report is where you follow the person who has a job you want for the rest of your life. You write a paper. My teacher failed me because I followed my grandfather. And according to her, retirement isn't a job. But I did that bit on TV. I did that bit on television. And my wife was 9 months pregnant when I did it again on TV. So we went in to meet the new doctors. And as we walked in, the nurse looks at me and goes, I've seen you before. You know, you've never seen me. This is my first time here. She goes, no, you were on TV the other day. You did the bit about the childbirth? Oh, yeah, that was me. She goes, don't worry, this time it's going to be very different. Is that a threat? She goes, no, your wife, she's scheduled for a cesarean. So tomorrow, you're going to come in at noon. You'll be a father by 12:30. I was like, that sounds great. She goes, just whatever you do, don't Google cesarean. You can't tell somebody that. It'll drive you nuts. I couldn't sleep the whole night. I'm tossing and turning. Why would she say that? I Googled cesarean. I should not have Googled cesarean. What basically comes up is the last scene from Braveheart. Tomorrow I'm going to watch my wife go, they can't take my freedom! So now I wanted nothing to do with it, right? I wanted nothing to do with this. The alarm goes off. She wakes up. I'm over the bed. I go, hey, you're allowed one person in that operating room. I think you should take your mother. She's Sicilian, probably has her own knife. I've seen The Godfather. These people aren't afraid of blood. She goes, no, you're coming with me. They brought me in there. I was so scared. I was pale. I was nervous. I'm sweating. We walk in. They actually push my wife out of the way to get a wheelchair for me. They put me in a wheelchair and wheeled me away from her, going, don't worry, it is so safe. It is so safe, Mr. Riccadonna. They're telling me how safe it is as they started to dress me like the people who stole E.T. from Elliot. I'm in a full hazmat suit with the mask, the hair thing, paper over my boots. They go to wheel me back to the operating room, and the most emasculating moment of my life happened here. Little 60-pound nurse leans in and goes, I think it would mean a lot to your wife if you got up and walked in on your own. I stood up. I walked in that room. This time, they had her on the operating table, but they had her, like, tarped off, like they were giving her an undercoating at Mako, you know? I walk right up to her and I go, I think we need to go back to the other way. She goes, it's too late. It's too late. I go, what do you mean it's too late? What, is a magician going to come in, cut her in half, pull her apart, put her back together? They go, no, it's too late. And we hear a baby crying. I go, he's here? They go, he's here. You want to meet him? Come around the corner. Just don't turn right. So I'm like Zoolander coming around the corner. I come around the corner. They're holding the baby up like they caught a fish. Got the baby! But he was perfect, right? Because he's a cesarean. They just take him out. He didn't squeeze out naturally like the other one. Oh, he was disgusting. His head was all pointy. It's like, is it going to pop back into shape, or do you grab his foot and... I don't know how that works.